before we begin tonight's case. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This channel dives deep into real true crime mysteries, unsolved cases, disappearances, and stories that demand answers. Your subscription helps us share more cases, more investigations, and more stories that deserve to be heard. Now, let's get into tonight's case. A case that began with a simple traffic stop and unraveled into one of the darkest investigations the state has ever seen. It was March 14, 2021, a Sunday night sliding into Monday. Highway 17 in Cedar Falls, North Carolina, stretched out in long dark miles, broken only by the occasional passing semi-truck. Officer Ryan Hale, 32 years old, former Marine, respected by everyone in the department, had just started his shift. Known for his calm demeanor and sharp instincts, Hale rarely made mistakes. Just before midnight, he noticed a silver Honda Civic drifting slightly between lanes. Not enough to scream danger, not enough to suggest a drunk driver, but enough to justify a welfare check. He activated his lights. The Civic slowed immediately and pulled onto the dusty shoulder. Dashcam shows Officer Hale stepping out, adjusting his vest, and approaching the driver's window with his usual calm confidence. Behind the wheel sat 19-year-old college student Daniel Pierce, shaking slightly, chest rising and falling too fast. "Evening," Hale said warmly. "You okay? You were swerving a bit." Daniel apologized. Said he was exhausted from studying. Said he was heading home. Said everything a tired college kid might say. But Hale's eyes drifted past him. His flashlight swept the backseat. And he leaned in. "Daniel, is someone else in the car with you?" Daniel froze. "No," he whispered. "There's nobody." But the camera caught it, only for a split second, a shadow shifting behind Daniel's seat. The dashcam suddenly glitched for 6 seconds. Static. Black screen. When footage resumed, Officer Hale was on the ground, bleeding out. Daniel was gone. And his patrol car's emergency lights flickered like a dying heartbeat. The routine traffic stop had become a crime scene. At 2:18 a.m., a passing patrol found Hale. He was lying on his back beside his cruiser, chest wound bleeding heavily. His body-worn camera was ripped from his vest. And his service weapon was missing. Paramedics arrived fast but not fast enough. It wasn't just a shooting. It was an execution. Cedar Falls woke up to sirens, helicopters, and the breaking news. A police officer had been murdered during a traffic stop. And the driver was missing. Naturally, Daniel became the prime suspect. But investigators quickly noticed something strange. The Honda Civic, found abandoned 5 miles away, had been wiped clean. No fingerprints. No smudges. No sweat. No DNA. Daniel Pierce, a nervous, inexperienced college freshman, did not have the skill or composure to sterilize a crime scene. Something was very wrong. Inside Daniel's abandoned Civic, detectives discovered a 3-inch strip of industrial duct tape, fresh and sticky, wedged beneath the seat. Boot prints in the backseat carpet, not Daniel's size. And a faint indentation on the backseat cushion shaped like a knee. Someone else had been in that car, hidden, long before the traffic stop. Daniel didn't run. Daniel was taken. The investigation into Daniel's life revealed a terrified young man unraveling in the days before he disappeared. His roommate said Daniel barely slept. He kept checking the locks. He whispered that someone was following him. His phone records confirmed it. Daniel placed multiple calls to an unregistered burner phone. Each call lasted seconds. None were answered. On the morning of the traffic stop, Daniel withdrew $220 from an ATM and stared over his shoulder the entire time. He wasn't running from the law. He was running from someone else. But who? The case finally cracked open thanks to a bored gas station clerk who recognized Daniel's car from the news. Security footage revealed a horrifying truth. Daniel arrived at the station alone. But another figure followed him inside. A man in a dark hooded jacket, taller, broad-shouldered, head lowered to avoid the cameras. He pretended to browse snacks, but his eyes never left Daniel. The moment Daniel stepped outside, the hooded man slipped behind the store and climbed into the backseat of Daniel's car. Daniel didn't notice. He drove away, with the killer already in the backseat. And when Officer Hale peered inside minutes later, he saw enough to know Daniel wasn't alone. That moment cost Hale his life. 2 days later, a truck driver reported hearing what he thought were animal cries inside a long-abandoned shipping warehouse near the river. Deputies entered with flashlights drawn. What they found was bone-chilling. Drag marks. Fresh blood drops. Rope and zip ties. Empty chemical drums. a cell phone smashed into pieces, and on a rusted metal table, carved deep into the dust. I didn't kill him. Help me. Daniel had been there. Alive. Terrified. The kid the media portrayed as a murderer was actually a hostage. The duct tape, the zip ties, the boot print, the height and build of the shadowy man. All of it matched a known criminal. Marcus Hale. Officer Ryan Hale's older brother. A former trucker fired for stealing chemical shipments across state lines. A violent repeat offender. Estranged from the family. Last known working with criminal freight networks. Marcus had been using Daniel as an unknowing transport mule, forcing him to move stolen chemicals. Daniel discovered the crates. Panicked. Tried to back out. Marcus didn't allow it. And when Officer Ryan Hale stopped them that night, Marcus recognized him. Investigators later said the officer's final words revealed everything. Is someone else in the car? He wasn't talking to Daniel. He was talking to his brother. 2 weeks after the murder, hikers found a makeshift campsite 40 miles from town. Under a tarp, tied at the wrists, dehydrated and barely conscious, was Daniel Pierce. Doctors said 2 more days and he would have died. When Daniel woke, his voice cracked as he whispered. He killed the officer, not me. He made me drive. He said if I told anyone, he'd kill my family. Daniel described Marcus with chilling accuracy. The tattoo. The smell of diesel fuel. The raspy voice. The constant threats. He said Marcus dragged him through warehouses, forced him into trunks, beat him for crying, and fed him whatever scraps he found. Daniel didn't sleep for more than a few minutes at a time. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the same moment. Officer Hale falling. The gunshot. Marcus whispering, "Your fault if you talk." Marcus Hale vanished the night Daniel was rescued. Police found a burned storage locker filled with chemical residue and scraps of duct tape. He abandoned his truck on a service road. Left everything inside burning. Then simply disappeared. The FBI believes Marcus is alive, possibly moving with underground freight crews or hiding near transport hubs. Officer Ryan Hale received a full law enforcement funeral. Hundreds of officers lined the street. His young daughter carried a single white rose. Daniel eventually returned to school, but trauma changed him. He startles easily. He avoids driving at night. Therapists say he carries deep survivor's guilt. The town of Cedar Falls learned a haunting truth. The killer wasn't a stranger. He wasn't a random threat. He was the brother of the man who died trying to stop him. The murder of Officer Hale remains unsolved. The killer remains missing. And investigators still replay those 6 missing seconds of dashcam footage, wondering what, exactly, was said before the camera cut out. What did Ryan Hale hear? What did he see? What made him ask, is someone else in the car? We may never know. But one thing is clear. A routine traffic stop doesn't always stay routine. Sometimes, it reveals monsters hiding in plain sight. And the truth, as always, is darker than anyone imagined.